despite being our least favourite events this year, this weekend's Saturday night's main event is shaping up to be an absolute classic with 4 announced title matches. Expect new champions and major storylines to finally come to an end. Let's get in there. We're back, full complement. Daz is fully recovered from Mexico and whatever virus he brought back. How are we doing?
Yes, I'm good. The Zika virus, whatever you want to call it, has officially left the system. I am all good to go.
And of course, our resident NXT expert, Roscoe. How are we?
Good man, I'm good. I feel like I've only just kind of calmed down from watching a broken Matt Hardy strut his stuff again, so it's good to have a chat about the upcoming SNME.
Of course, we'll start, as always, with last Friday night's SmackDown. Now, just quickly discussed off pod that did stay up to intention of watching it. I watched the MFTs come out to it be announced to be facing Rey Fenix and Shinsuke, and then I went, fuck this, it's bedtime. Now, luckily this week, most of the big stories are all tied right into the 4-match card that's currently been announced for Saturday night, so we're going to hold off on that just now. But there is one match I want to pull a thread on for last week. Daz, over you as the resident SmackDown expert. Let's talk the match itself, and then we'll talk the story around it. The continuation of the announcement, and then the match that the US Open Challenge with Ilya Dragunov will continue. Thoughts on the actual bell-to-bell action?
It was good. It was a good wrestling match. I think it's what SmackDown has needed. Got it in the interim with Sami Zayn, and I'm really, really glad that we're keeping the Open Challenge on. I'm a little bit confused. I kind of get it that you want to start this title reign with a credible victory. I get that you want it to be someone not on the level of Sami Zayn, but someone who's close to that, where he cements himself as champion. But I also don't really understand whether or not this is going to be one-off, or if we're going to be running a programme together. Are we going to continue the Open Challenge? Because as much as I enjoy the Open Challenge, Ilya needs a story, because he's not got the mic work that Sami Zayn's got to build an Open Challenge every week. And there's only so many Aleister Blacks, there's only so many superstars in that mid-card, as we've spoken about many, many times. So one of the big names just came off already on the checklist for his Open Challenge. So I'm really intrigued to see what they take a bit in the ring. I thought it was a really, really good match. Especially by SmackDown standards in recent months.
I mean, it is difficult trying to separate the story for the match itself. I'm in agreement. I think the match was, we always use the phrase, a really good television match. You know, just exactly what you want to see, that sort of 10-15 minutes. Looked the part. Ross, just on something that Daz said there, the in-ring work does really matter for Dragunov, but I probably agree that they need a not a slow transition, but a good transition from a US Open Challenge to a proper feud, because we're all familiar with him because we watched him in NXT UK, and we'd know about the Gunther feud. But for most WWE fans who are either casuals or main roster fans, they won't be that familiar with his work because it was a short stint pre-injury.
Yeah, and one of those people that falls into that camp is me. That would have been during the kind of hiatus, if you want to call it that I took from the product. So for me, obviously, I'd heard the murmurings ahead of it, where I think Daz in particular was quite excited a few weeks ago, and he was mooted at the return, and then it didn't happen, and then when it did, it was very, very good. That kind of made me sit up and take notice and go, okay, show me what you can do, and I'm intrigued to see how they do it, because I have a couple of good wrestling matches. I thought that his mic work just there was good. I thought that was pretty decent. I like that. Give me some more. I don't know what angle they'll go for. I don't know where they'll take him. But I think you're right. I think if you can build that nice and slowly and show him off, then I think he'll do just fine. Obviously, we don't know how long that reign's going to run, but I think it could be a good one for a few months if they book it right.
He's everything Rusev should be, to be honest. Rusev just isn't captivating, and we'll get to Rusev with my goat. It's just Rusev should have been Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov's just so much more captivating, and he really has, as like Sundal says, he's not been in mainstream TV. It was a very short stint before he got a really long layoff, but his work in NXT was absolutely incredible, and he's got the crowd in the palm of his hand. They just need to book it right. We can't just have him wrestle all these guys and it not go anywhere. They need to build him as a credible champion and then give him that first feud, and it's really got to be a feud that that elevates them.
And this is why I was trying to separate the match for the story, because I think the story is one of intrigue but confusion. We talked about this last week, Ross, didn't we? We used intrigue for something that was confusing and interesting, and confusion for something that was just, why the fuck are they doing this? And the intrigue is, he can't do the US Open Challenge forever because it does go stale. But at some point, you put the feud in. The confusion for me comes as soon as I heard Aleister Black's music. My first thought was, well, Damian Priest is going to get involved.
Waper.
It kind of meant there was only really one outcome, and that was Dragunov winning by some sort of shenanigans.
That shot is fucking awful as well.
I know.
It's a very specific Puerto Rican phrase or something, isn't it? Wepa. I remember I googled this at some point.
I'm reluctant to Google it, I'm not going to lie.
No, do not Google it. I'm really disappointed in these. I don't know if I've ever seen a world champion fall off the face of the earth like that. He really, I know we've spoken about it many times, so I really won't talk too long on it, but that, like the feud we drew, where we thought, yes, this is a nice one and done, let's run it 3 more times. It was like, it did nothing for either of them. Drew's still mincing about in the main event picture, but how much longer that will last, we'll need to discuss in the prediction show. But Damian Priest, I really don't know where we're going with this guy. Maybe as the guy to take the title off you, I don't know, but he needs rebuilt. He needs a brand new character, because since the Judgment Day, he's been ass, if I'm honest.
Aye, there's it just straight away, I felt that's where it was going. Maybe it does set up a multi-man match down the line with 3 or 4 top mid-cards on SmackDown, and Dragunov drops the title without being involved, and it's a way to do it. I don't know. But back-to-back weeks where Dragunov stole the show and had matched their name on SmackDown. Ross, you obviously had the conversation in the squash at the weekend saying SmackDown is a bit of chaos, needs an identity. The US Open Challenge helps that, but we had a comment for a gent on it called Egghead on TikTok who's been commenting a lot recently on our stuff, but he's been commenting a lot recently, and I get back and forth, and that's what he said. He actually had agreement, but would it be wrong to look at SmackDown and say, just try and mirror what Black and Gold was, but with the extra half an hour that SmackDown has? Like, be the wrestling show.
Don't think they've got the talent for it.
They don't at the moment. They could have. I guess it's just interesting to see. Yeah. I guess it's interesting to see where this goes moving forward, because Sami Zayn was the right type of face where he could have babyface versus heel matches and get away with it. Like he feud with Javon Evans and then glaze him after it, and it doesn't really matter. Whereas Dragunov's not going to do that. He's going to punch the shit out of him and then shake his hand, but he's not going to glaze him or put him over on the mic. So it's a slightly different. That's what the intrigue for me is. It's a slightly different concept. It's like, again, I mentioned having the US Open Women's Challenge with a heel Julia as your champion to work really, really well. Dragunov's not a heel, but he's not a traditional babyface. He's great in that tweener role where he's a kind of in the middle. It's a different challenge, so I think there's scope to run it for a few weeks, but I think the transition out of that US Open Challenge is really important, especially because we know it takes up half an hour of SmackDown every week, which is almost half your wrestling time.
Yeah. It's very true.
So I think it's safe to say we are huge fans of Dragunov's work and it needs to continue, but there is intrigue in how we fold it into a proper story. With that, we're going to dive straight into Monday Night Raw, because everything else we want to talk about SmackDown's part of the prediction, and we're going to skip all the way through the Raw show, all the way through my notes, right up to the main event, and once again make the statement, see when you just put good fucking wrestlers into wrestling matches and let them work, the outcome is just what you expect. This is arguably been the best women's tag match since the tag titles were a thing. Just about. I think if you go back a while, you've got the Kabuki Warriors and stuff having good matches, but I really enjoyed this. Having only finished watching it an hour or so ago, I thought Bayley and Lyra are just slowly building towards inevitably either big singles shoot or taking these titles through well. And Charlotte and Alexa's work, I think I've said all year, I've really enjoyed them working together, and I think we're now at a situation where it's maybe the first time I've seen a team where I'm like, okay, if it was them that took the titles, I'd be okay with it. Does that seem like maybe that's the start of a feud that could lead to that?
It's got to be, I think. If we're looking at credible challengers for that, for those women's tag team titles, we probably only have 3 teams. They've already wrestled Sol Ruka and Zarya a couple of times. The Kabuki Warriors are one of those teams, and the newly formed Lyra and Bayley are the other. So it can only really go so many ways. Knowing WWE, they'll fucking bring the Bellas back or something and put the titles on them. It's just absolute nonsense. But Lyra and Bayley is really, really interesting to me. It's Raw wasn't great last night. I didn't think.
No, it wasn't.
Just touching on what you said on the squash last week about SmackDown. Within your first 7 minutes, you should hear the bell ring for your first match. On Raw, within the first 7 minutes, last night with fucking Jey Uso yeeting for 7 minutes. Yeah, I didn't think it was a great Raw, but their backstage segment, and then obviously the main event, was probably the only real positive for me. Shout out to Raw for having in the actual opening promo only be about 4 minutes. That's a massive, 3 times as long when you include the entrances, but the actual promo itself was only a couple of minutes. Yeah, absolutely.
Ross, this is another one of these matches that we talked about in depth last week, and we talk about most weeks, where you've got good wrestlers, but if you get the crowd involved nice and early and they keep it going, it just adds to the spectacle.
It always does.
I just thought, I don't know, it's just 4 wrestlers that I think we could all watch most weeks. I think it's been Charlotte's best work for a long time. She looks more, I've said this all year, but she just looks more relaxed, taking the piss a little bit, having a bit of fun with Alexa Bliss. If they get that inevitable title drop split right, that's a feud that can main event PLEs and be must-see TV.
100%. I think especially if that match might happen again more than once, you have the really, really interesting dynamic where we both know at some point both of these teams split up, and you always get that question mark and doubt of, okay, but because I actually thought last night when I sat down to watch, or earlier on actually, when I was sitting down to watch Raw, and I saw that was the main event, I was like, oh shit, are we going to have a split here? Are we going to have a double split here? And they both do it? Obviously, far too early for that. We're not close enough to like a Mania season for it to happen, but, you know, I really enjoyed it. I liked that it was a main event match. When was the last time that a women's match was the main event on Raw? That was the one thing I was trying to remember.
I can't remember it wasn't a tag team match with CM Punk, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. I don't know the last time it was one of them.
Last time the women, was it when Io won the title from Ripley? Is that the last one? Were they main evented?
That could very well be it.
I'm trying to think. That was pre-Mania. There must have been one since.
Is there though?
Yeah, no, there would have been. Naomi potentially would have main evented a Raw. I can't think off the top of my head, but
yeah, but it was good to see. Really, really enjoyable match. Enjoyed it.
I'm trying to see if I can get some, but I'd need to actually, I think, manually dig for it. I did also notice that, and once again, I'll praise JD McDonough getting more of his flowers. If this match with Sheamus, big dome, but the guy's looking.
I'm actually wondering if he's going to be the one to get a singles push out of this split instead of Finn.
I just, the last few weeks I've just been watching him, like, he's always been good, but he just seems to have been slightly more showcased, and maybe that is the long-term play, is that JD McDonough has a future, because I think it was him versus Sheamus, and he beat Sheamus, which I was surprised to see, but again, it was another solid match. I'm intrigued. I'm trying to see if I can find quickly the last time when we entered Raw. I think the fact that they've just they chucked the women over to Raw away from SmackDown just felt like it freed up a little bit of time on Friday night as well, because that title's been shoehorned into SmackDown for so many weeks without really anything happening. Even if it's been backstage segments, backstage segments still take up time on a show that does not have time for backstage segments.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm kind of weird. Raw was pretty down the middle, standard Monday night, but the main event very nearly to a level above what we were probably expecting going into it. With that being said, I mean, I can see you're frantically trying to see if you can find information as well for his dads.
I think I've got one, but I don't know if it's the information.
It's certainly better than what ChatGPT just served me up, because they're trying to claim the last time it happened was December 1st, 2004.
No, I think it was Rhea. I think it was Rhea and Asuka. I think.
I don't know, that would make sense.
On Monday night, but that was only like a month ago. So yeah, I don't know how I missed that. But yeah, anyway,
so match number 1 that I've got for Saturday night's main event. In fact, and obviously we don't know the order yet, and we're probably expecting a 5th match, although whoever saying that is 4 title matches, which makes it officially
the open challenge on the card.
Dead simple. Open challenge has to be not a Friday night at least once. Tiffany versus Jade. Now, talk me through the heel turn. You want me to start?
No, I'll start.
Go. What's your thoughts on the heel turn to begin with?
Incredibly obvious, and to be honest, I won't spend too long talking about why I don't think Jade Cargill should be world champion. However, if they are going to put the strap on Jade Cargill, this is the only way they could theoretically have done it.
I agree.
I mean, it makes sense. She's too big to be a face. Like, that build is just, it's a heel build. She's just built to be a heel.
She's built to be like a female Brock Lesnar, and she's just throwing people about and
so
them.
I'm not surprised they pulled the trigger. Tiffy's reign has been really, really stale for a long, long time. She's only still got the belt due to a lack of genuine talent to take it off her. I told you when we predicted WrestlePalooza, and yeah, I've been saying this for a while. If Tiffany didn't beat Steph Faker, they were taking the strap directly off her. And on Saturday night, I fully expect Jade Cargill to walk out as the WWE Women's Champion.
I'm not going to dive straight into a prediction just now. I'm going to let Ross go, but just on the heel turn, like I think it's inevitable. I think, as you say, she has the look of just a powerful heel. She's not great in the mic, so she can just get over by throwing people about and making them look weak. If anything, rather than turning her heel, I would have taught her how to wrestle. It's probably the route I would have went.
It's easier to turn her heel.
I know. I still don't like. Okay, I fully expect it. I fully expect this is the time, but I'm fully expecting there to be a botch near the end that takes the shine off everything. I don't trust her not to make a cunt of this. That's ultimately how I feel about Jade Cargill.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Yeah, the heel turn to me makes sense, and I did actually think that she looked the part big time when she comes down the ramp.
She can play a heel. She absolutely can play a heel.
It was giving me kind of Lara Croft vibes, actually. The kind of get up that she was going for.
Oh, right.
It was almost kind of Lara Crofty a wee bit. I don't know why it was kind of giving me that
probably
thought.
Better off giving her 2 fucking pistols.
Well,
that
would have been interesting.
No.
I suspect, though, that's not a level playing field. But no, I'm intrigued because it makes the logical sense for someone that came into the business from the route that she came into. And I'm intrigued to see what will happen, because if she's working as a heel, in theory, the way the match will go should be different. You know, like her actual work within the ring should change.
That's why I think it's the right call. Because she now doesn't have to wrestle. She doesn't have to wrestle now. She can just be a big brute. She can punch people, throw people into things.
Big boots close, throwing people about. I mean, the other thing is that it does seem to be that they had their target Tiffany's knee Friday night just to keep that element of story. It looks as though Tiffany does potentially have any injury. It's going to be looked into.
Can already book you to finish, but yeah.
If she has an injury, likely she will have to live well. I think it's not a bad thing. Tiffany has pretty much worked every week since she was called up, so having a bit of a rest isn't a bad thing if she needs a bit of time off telly. I also think that if she does have some time off, we'll forget, because we all like her, but it's just this run hasn't, and it's because the division's been weak, hasn't captivated the way she done. She naturally got to the level where they had to put a strap on her because of her own work. She deserved it. It just hasn't worked because we've been stuck with Nia Jax and Jade Cargill every week, and we're going to get this throughout the show, but Jade Cargill has lost pretty clean to Tiff a lot this year, and turning her heel doesn't make her any more of a credible challenger, really, for that perspective, for a kayfabe perspective.
Kayfabe.
Tiffany, if she drops the title and turns up next Friday, people will be like, oh, she's back. If she has to take some time off, when she comes back, she'll get a pop, and then they can decide 100%. If she's going heel or face. So it's one of the ones where it's probably not a bad thing. Again, hoping she's well, and it's not like a 9 to 12 month injury. It's a legitimate wear and tear type injury is what I'm hoping for, because I think a wee bit of time off's good, especially for somebody that has. I'd like to the last time she had more than 2 weeks in a row off, because it does feel like she's wrestled most weeks this year.
Yeah, she's been really active.
Aye, and again, big fan. I think her work's great. It's just the division's way it needs a shuffle. I mean, we're 2-0 so far. That Jade's probably taking out the turns happen for a reason. Ross, are you concurring, or are you going to go down the other side?
No, I think this is a Jade Cargill win. It just feels like it's a really good way to do it. I think it works. Where they go from here past that, obviously, that's the bit that we're kind of interested to see next. But no, I think if you build her up as this, you can't then not let her win immediately. Otherwise, you're just like, what are you doing here? So
the amount she has lost this year, if they didn't put it on her, that's her immediately done as a monster heel. There is no comeback. She is done.
Yeah, very much so.
Let's hope so.
Match number 2 is over at Raw. I'm intrigued by this, but I'm not happy about it. Dominik Mysterio versus Rusev versus Penta. Now, I am a fan of 2/3 of this match. And
can't believe you don't like Penta.
I'm tolerable of the third. I'm tolerable of Rusev. So here's the backstory. Rusev and Penta are continually losing matches to Dom Mysterio, and somehow because they've continually lost matches to Dom Mysterio, they are entitled to a title match at Saturday night's mid-event.
None have lost clean, to be fair.
As close to clean as you're going to get while they're trying to protect them. Penta's lost a lot recently, which we've always been concerned about. Again, not get jumping straight into predictions. I just think this could be triple threat for a reason.
1,000,000% it's triple threat for a reason.
It's triple threat for a reason. There's a pin eater in this, and my only concern is I think they should have thrown a fourth into it, because Dom's technically a heel, even though he's not. Rusev's a heel because makes folk kind of be arse with him. Penta's a face, but he's been losing quite a lot and has get booed against Dom because people want to see Dom do well. So I think this needed a fourth, an actual
Grande Americano was the perfect pick.
Potentially, something like that. I just feel I feel like the match is lacking balance. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody else that's listening to any of you guys, but I just feel like it lacks balance.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm not going to get into my prediction, but I do agree that it's been built this way, in my opinion, for one reason. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm going to be really, really sad if it goes the way I think it's going to go. But it is inevitable that we were going to get to this point, and they were never ever going to put him in a match 1v1 to have him drop the title unless it's to a monster name in the business that won't hurt him. So yeah, I think you can tell that I think that he's going to drop the title, but I won't tell you exactly who I think is going to pick it up yet. The match is odd to me. I don't really feel like they've told a great story with Penta.
100%, aye.
They have with Rusev. Like, Rusev's been kicked in the stones, and like I get it, but I just feel like we're at a point where we've got like, right, we brought Rusev back, but we don't really have anything for him to do. We've got Penta, and yeah, we really, really like him, and all the fans really like him, but we like having Kofi Kingston pin him. So let's put him in the match. And it's like, right, you've got the hottest guy in the business who's got 2 straps. What are we going to do with him? Oh, I know. We'll put him in a triple threat match on a Saturday night main event. And I don't. What does it do for Dom? What does this match do for Dom Mysterio? Especially if he doesn't win it. What does it actually do for him?
Do you know the only thing I think it does? And again, I'm not going to give my exact prediction, but I'm going to at least tip my cap to where I'm going with this. And I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, Ross. I genuinely believe, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I do believe it as I thought about it over the weekend. I think there is a risk of Dom's title run going stale. Not because of Dom, but if apply the logic that we've just applied to the last match. The division is a bit meh, and they seem reluctant to pull the trigger on Dom too early. And the fact is, we're all sitting here saying he's beyond the IC title now. It's no longer relevant. He's beyond that. He should really be world title picture. He's earned that right. I feel like they're holding him back, and if they hold him back, it's going to get boring. I just wonder if that's the reason they're doing this. Again, I'm tipping my cap as to where it might go, but is it?
It's an interesting thought, though, isn't it?
Having watched the last couple of weeks, the matches have all ended the same, and they've been enjoyable, but they've not done anything for Dom, they've done anything for Rusev or Penta. Are they trying to get ahead of the curve of us getting bored of Dom Mysterio?
No, potentially, yeah. So, like, then the question then becomes, if they go down that route of, right, okay, you need a surprise, you need a shock, and he's going to drop it on Saturday. Who does he drop it to, and then what does that person then do with that belt, and what does Dom then do?
That person gets beat by John Cena the following week. That's simple. That person drops to John Cena the following week. That's it.
Listen, I can't wait to get into my prediction, because I do have a theory about what's going to happen and when's going to happen.
I think
blah, 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 blah.
I want to hear your theory.
Tell us. Wait, have you got a long drawn out theory?
No, it's really, really quick, because we're running out of dates for the guy anyway.
You go for it.
Yeah, I'll give you my prediction. I think that Penta eats the pin in this, or submits, and I think Rusev's going to be the new IC champ. I don't think they're ready to have Penta wear a strap yet. I don't think they're convinced by the full package. He's incredibly over and he's hot, but he's not. I'm not sure they're entirely convinced yet.
We all know what happens when you put titles on the hot person and then realise they can't.
Oh, 100%.
They can't do the carry job once they've got it. It's like,
AKA Damien Priest. He was over. They put the belt on him, and now he is. It's weapon time. So I think that Rusev will become the new IC champ. I don't know if it will come via distraction from Judgment Day or Los Grande Americanos, whatever they're calling themselves. But ultimately, Dom will drop the title on Saturday, I feel. And I do agree with you, Saunders. I do think Cena will take the title off Rusev. I think they will run it back. They are old enemies. I think it makes sense.
Flag match.
Yes, but is he going to be Russian this time, or is he going to be Bulgarian? Who knows?
I'm pretty sure he lives in fucking Nashville, doesn't he? So
Like, as long as he comes out in a tank, I'm happy.
Confederate flag.
As long as he comes out in a tank, I'm happy. Yeah, I think it would be really, really great to have him almost offer an open challenge for the IC title and Cena to answer it, become a Grand Slam champ. I don't even care if Cena drops it the following week to a new up-and-comer. I really don't care. Just give the guys Grand Slam. But yeah, I do feel like Rusev's going to take the title. I just don't think it's the right time to put it on Penta.
Cannot believe we're going to predict multiple title changes on a Saturday night's main event, but I am joining you with the exact same theory. I think it's Rusev takes it over Penta. Whether he pins him or taps him, I don't know. Whether they have Dom Mysterio actually do the job on Penta and Rusev steals it, I don't know. And as you say, there's enough of a history with Rusev and Cena that perhaps he drops it to him. The week or two later, I don't know that situation. I can see it, but I have lived for the exact same scenario outcome, and I do think it's just this. Let's not let Dom go stale. I can see a world in which it sets up a Penta versus Dom feud for the AAA championship potentially, and I'd love to. I want to be sitting here saying it's Penta. I think Penta should have a title run. I'm with you. I just think that's the feud. Ross, please don't tell me we're going to have 3-0 here. Are you looking at differently?
3-0 in favour of Rusev is fucking crazy work, let me tell you.
It is kind of mad, isn't it? Do you know, I can't really work out the booking that they will do if they don't take this kind of the route that you're taking. But I think you're right in that we probably won't. You probably won't get multiple title changes, I wouldn't have thought. So to me, I'm going to somehow say that Dom's going to walk out with a title. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how, because I don't really know. But it does feel like it would just be too much. No, granted, see if the card goes how it could go in my head. This actually could be an absolute banger of an SNME. Like, it really could be. But I'll stick my neck out and say that Dom's going to retain. That's what I'll go for.
See, I mean, genuinely looking at the card, right? Punk's one of the best in the business, and Jey Uso isn't, but he gets a crowd involved. Cody versus Drew could be a match of the year contender if they both turn on.
7 minutes.
I don't know, Tiff versus Jade. Tiff versus a heel Jade could be good. Their match at SummerSlam was decent. They did a decent job of spotting. And then Dom, Penta, Rusev, if they get the time, could also be a cracking match. It's a high level card.
Just wait for them to add Julia versus B-Fab or something.
Oh no, fucking reach in.
I do wonder what that first match will be, actually. That's interesting.
I hope it's the
SmackDown match.
It will be.
Unless they add in a women's tag team title match, which I would not.
It could be a women's tag match.
Kind of hinted at that a little bit, I suppose. So possible.
I guess it is one of the weekends though where SmackDown is in Salt Lake, where the SNME is. So
SNME.
So it is a kind of bumper weekend card. So there is a possibility that everybody's going to do something interesting. I find Dom should keep going, but I just think they've made this triple threat for a reason. And that's why I'm predicting a change. To our listeners and viewers, did you know that we actually run 2 podcasts every week? On a Wednesday morning, and ready for your morning commute, you have this breakdown of all things Raw and SmackDown, and in the case of this week, your prediction show for Saturday night's main event. And a Saturday morning, we do throw out a more relaxed, more open type of podcast where we look back or look ahead to something nostalgic or something that we're excited about coming up in the future. This weekend's episode was recorded last week. It's 3 wrestling fans talking about their 4 favourite matches of all time. No rankings, no head-to-head, no massive output, just pure nostalgia fun and an ultimate recognition that Shawn Michaels vs Undertaker needs his own discussion. 10 a.m. Saturday morning, join us for that. We'll see you then. Match number 3 I have on the card. And I've hummed and hawed as to what I think the main event will be.
Can only be one, surely.
Well, I've got
can only be the world heavyweight. Can only be because it's the most intrigue. There is no champion. In my opinion, it will main event. It was first on the card, it will main event, I think.
Let's flip back then, because I've got the other way around at the moment, because I just think Cody versus Drew will win last because they'll do something stupid, like Brock Lesnar. Back to SmackDown then, does Cody versus Drew. This match really confuses me, because I think I've came to terms with the fact that Cody's going to remain champion through up until WrestleMania. But I really don't know what that means for Drew, because I feel like
It's wiper time.
I feel like he's better than Cody.
There's no doubt about it, in my opinion. He's miles clear of Cody. We've been saying it for a long time. Like, Cody's great when he's got a story to tell and he's chasing something. But, my God, he's awful to watch. The only Cody Rhodes thing I've enjoyed since he won the belt at Mania was actually when he smacked Drew in the face for the title. It was something a bit different. They'll try to tell me a new story. I don't hate it.
And then they forgot about it a week later.
Yeah, they just totally... I did something that was a little bit out of character. My bad. Yeah, I'm going to take a leaf out of Cody's book and say that enough is enough. I'm not going to scream it like he screams it, but do something different or fucking get off the porch and let the big dogs eat. I'm sick of him. I really, really am. The match doesn't make sense to me because it can only go one way. Yeah, not in it.
The interesting thing is the bit where you said there, like, I did something out of character, was almost word perfect copying John Cena's apology to the people of France and Belgium.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago. He literally has done nothing original since he's been champion. I like his work. I like a lot of it. It's not captivating. It's not captivating enough for me to sit there and say this is the thing I'm looking forward to most on SmackDown.
He'd be a great IC champion or a great US champion because he would defend it every week and he would look fucking shit hot. But the problem is they box themselves into a corner with this guy, strapped a rocket to him because he was hot when he rejoined. He was massively over. He told a brilliant story and everybody has now been able to see the guy sucks.
Is it just me, Ross? Would he even make a better world heavyweight champion, the WWE champion? Because I feel like the WWE title was the part-time title, but it was like, boom, the big event, and when Roman had it and when Brock was running with it and stuff, and Seth Rollins said, I'm going to make the World Heavyweight title the Workhorse Championship. I feel like it actually suits that better than this, because I just never feel like Cody Rhodes is the main attraction.
You can have him on Raw. That means I don't need to watch him on a Friday night.
You might be onto something there, to be fair. Though, what they've been doing with them is they just flirt between SmackDown and Raw and just move around seemingly just at random. So, but no, you could be onto something there. That maybe could work. And that little shuffle, maybe that's a little interesting scenario we could kind of paint a picture of like what that would look like. It's intriguing to me.
Might get lucky. They might book him against Mercedes Moné and he'll definitely drop his title. So may get lucky.
I do like that it came out about her recently that if she's taken an indie booking, she is literally not allowed to lose. I did like that.
Yeah, well, that's obvious. She's
apparently a contract
Mercedes
stipulation.
13 belts or something. It's crazy.
She's actually, like, if you saw the photo, I think it was before she won the 12th belt. So this was 11 belts in, and she's standing there with them all. There's like no body part that isn't covered.
She looks like a boxing promoter. She looks like Eddie Hearn.
It's more the boxing promoter on the Simpsons episode where Homer becomes a boxer.
Yeah.
I just don't see when Sami Zayn started the US Open Challenge, we said in this podcast, and I was quite vocal about that I think this is a real challenge for Sami and he has to rise to the occasion. Sami Zayn's never going to be the main attraction on a SmackDown when you've got Cody Rhodes, a WWE title, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton. John Cena was still on the show technically at the time and potentially decent women's division as a figure. Like, how does he make himself? And the sad thing is that I've not enjoyed watching Cody Rhodes' stuff on Friday night. I have looked forward to the Open Challenge more, and even more so now where it's just Ilya Dragunov punching people in the face. Mm-hmm. So, where are we going with this? Is it Cody versus Randy? Is that the plan? But
I'm not going to put the strap back on Randy.
Randy's done. It's not going to harm. So I've really, and I actually don't even see a match for the WWE title at WrestleMania that I want to watch, and I'm really fucking worried it's going to be Cody versus Brock.
I think it'll be Roman. Unfortunately, we're going to get a hat trick. We'll get it. Fucking Roman better win it. I swear to God, if he goes 2-1 against Roman, I'm done with this.
Yeah, obviously they've released the promo stuff, haven't they? As part of all those little videos, they do have the promo picture where it's with Cody, Roman.
That's really odd.
There's
Pumps 3 Heyman guys and 3 Heyman guys and Cody Rhodes. Don't like it.
Interesting.
Let's get to prediction then. I'll dive in first and say that
pick the Homer because you can't not pick the Homer. I know what
I can't not pick Drew, but there is no the time to do it was the last time. That's how I see it, and I can't predict 3 title. Well, 4 title changes because technically the vacant title's going to probably end up with somebody. So I just have to see. I don't want Cody's retaining. It's going to be a bullshit finish, and I'm going to be fucking raging at 2 in the morning Sunday morning. That's my prediction. Does MD else want to go next and try something different?
There is nothing different to say. I don't think Drew will win the title purely because I don't think this will main event. In addition to that, I think it's clearly don't want the strap on Drew. I'll be honest, he doesn't need the title, but he deserves the title. I don't think his character needs it. He's captivating no matter what he's doing. But I think we're getting to a point where he's lost so many big matches concurrently that he might end up like Big Weapon, and the fact that he's never going to get back in that main event picture. Especially if what's to believed is true that Sami Zayn is getting his big push as well, because it's going to be hard to. It's only a 2-hour show. You've only got room for so many in the main event. Yeah, I'm going to go with a fucking Cody Rhodes retain.
The interesting thing with Drew is he doesn't need it, but there's not
SmackDown needs it.
SmackDown needs it, and like Drew doesn't need it, but like again, I am not comparing to Undertaker, but Undertaker didn't need a title, but you didn't just put him in a title picture. Drew doesn't need it. Make him an attraction in his own right. Don't just say he doesn't need it, but keep booking him in the title picture, because that defeats the point of having any intrigue around your story. Ross will be 3-0 in this one again.
I think that Drew is somehow coming out with that belt, and I don't know why.
I hope you're right.
Me too, man. I'm fucking all in.
I think there's going to be something more in there. Obviously, I think the trouble I've got, right, I know that I've kind of sort of stammered a bit there, but like the trouble I've got is I can't quite work out how the whole angle about what happened with Fatu backstage. That I think is genuinely quite important to this. And Drew McIntyre's character, as we've spoken about before, is he is the heel that just says it like it is. You know, he's telling home truths. He's that kind of guy. I have never really thought that Drew McIntyre's the kind of character to lie. That's the kind of character that he usually goes. And when he says that had nothing to do with me, I genuinely believe him. And I think that question mark is probably what's going to then feed into what happens here. Now, I can't quite get the last bits of the puzzle out that maybe would eventually get that turn that will then mean he'll retain. Maybe SmackDown will give us a further little clue the night before. I don't know. But I think there is going to be something in that where Drew does pick up that belt. Now, what that means moving forward, if we're going to get this Rhodes turn, because as we've seen, we saw it even again on SmackDown again, when it was it's not like full blown, but like him immediately try to fly off the handle and fight. That's not really been him outside of this little mini stint with Drew. He's not been doing that. That's new. I don't know. I think there's something there that gives me a little bit of intrigue, and I would say this might not be as cookie cutter as you guys think.
Might not. Might feel different after Friday night, because I think at the moment there's not enough there to set up a title change. But what's interesting is that under Vince, didn't need to be enough, because Vince is very much
just move the belt.
He would just be like, you know what, I feel like a change. Triple H doesn't. He does differently.
Sometimes mid-match, fucking lunatic.
So I'm hopeful, but I just, the only thing that's given me a little bit of hope is, why keep booking it if you're not going to pull the trigger at some point? That's the only
because
thing.
Because have no one else to book in.
No one else. I know.
Yeah, that's unfortunately what I think it is. He's a placeholder right now.
I hope we're sitting here next Tuesday for Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night.
Me too.
But
if Drew wins it, we'll get him on the show.
Oh, now you're talking.
We'll get him on the show.
I'd love nothing more, but I just don't see it, and it's because I don't trust the WWE to do the right thing. It's time for the main event, and it is a Raw match. It is CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, the backstory to this is batshit crazy. Title's been vacated because Seth Rollins is injured, but that's fine. The CM Punk then pins Jey Uso to become number one contender, and a week later, Seth Rollins has to vacate, and Jey Uso wins the Battle Royal to become number one contender again. Joint number one contender. Again, a bit like the Rusev Penta aspect. Why is a guy losing matches and then getting a title shot? It doesn't make any sense. As I said last week, and I'll continue to say, they had an opportunity to pull the trigger on somebody for a couple of months as a free hit, just to test the waters. An LA Knight, a Dom Mysterio, a Sami Zayn. I get that some people are going to get their big payoffs at Manias and Rumbles. It's brilliant, but it's a free hit. I think this match can only... It sounds daft, right? There's 3 ways this match can go, but it's 3 very specific ways. One is they just have Punk win. and set up a massive Mania feud where Punk is your main attraction on night 2. I don't think that's the case, but that's one way you can go. The second way, the obvious way that it could potentially go is that Braun and Bronson get involved and no one wins the title on Saturday night and it drags on another few weeks because they feel hard done by the Battle Royal. The third way, ironically, is obviously Jey Uso wins, but Jey Uso's only winning, I think, in one specific scenario. For me, it's Jey Uso wins it in order to drop it to Roman Reigns, and we get Roman versus Braun Breaker as your Mania, one of your Mania main events. Because I had that as a Mania match anyway, non-title, and eventually the split with Seth Rollins happening after it. I just wonder if they still think that's a Mania match. Interested to know your thoughts on the situations.
Yeah, this match is the most intriguing one for me, and I do agree. If this match doesn't main event, even if it does main event, I think the most probable outcome is DQ. It's so odd to have a title match for a vacant belt where a DQ means no one leaves with the title. So if it doesn't main event, I think it definitely ends in a DQ, no matter what happens. If it main events, I do think someone will win it. I also think it'll be Jey Uso. And I don't dislike your theory about where that then takes the title, but I actually don't think it'll be Roman and Braun Breaker. I actually think it might be Roman and Brock. Potentially Braun Breaker and Brock, depending on how the title manoeuvres through Royal Rumbles. And yeah, I do think that Brock is earmarked for the Raw side of things, which is really intriguing. I mean, Brock could even be champ into that. I've no idea. But I said it when he won the title, and I was actually delighted to see someone cash in on him because he didn't deserve to have his moment in that arena. Punk deserves to win a title at Mania.
Night 2 main event.
I now understand that if he wins it now, it's purely a pivot, and I get that, but I also don't think his big moment should be the result of a pivot. He's a vet. He'll do it. He'll do it for he definitely will. He's a company guy, and he'll do it for the company if that's what's been asked of him. There's just a really odd story where when he had his feud with John Cena, 3-night feud with John Cena in the build up to Night of Champions, he made it crystal clear that when he came back, he didn't want to be world champion. He said he didn't come back for that. He actually made that abundantly clear in the ring. Fast forward 3 months, and he's in the ring last night talking about how he needs that more than anything. I don't understand the character progression for CM Punk. I just don't know how we have a guy coming out of a mixed tag team match to put the strap on him. It doesn't make sense to me. The far more intriguing option is to put the strap on Jey Uso. I know he's Marmite. Some people like him. Some people really don't like him. I like him. He's not the greatest in the ring. He's not CM Punk. CM Punk's a great technical wrestler. I just don't understand anybody who tells me that Jey Uso cannot be world champion. When you hear the pop he got last night when he opened the show, the pop is fucking huge, and he's kind of a heel now, and he's still getting that massive pop. They're still asking him to run his entrance back. I actually think the guy could stay one of the most over men for the next 5-6 years. I really don't see this flipping on him. I really don't.
By the way, it was 2023 on in the Bank London, wasn't it, where this all started? So he's sustained this level for 2.5 years now.
I don't think it's got, at the beginning, when he used to, the way Jay talks, he says things in short sentences and he used to get the watts. It's now only yeets. I think that it's the most ridiculous catchphrase ever. It just is.
Makes money, but
see if you're the guy running the company and you're looking at these two guys and saying, right, who do I want to make the face of our flagship show? Do I want the guy who is a veteran, is a well-known name, or do I want the guy that comes out through the crowd to a massive pop, high-fiving all the kids? All the kids want to do the dance with him. I think from a business perspective, Jey Uso makes sense.
It's also a very safe catchphrase, very safe t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. It's
easy money.
It's no mammies on top. It's no weapons. It's not.
But what I will say, and this is my closing argument for Jey Uso winning the title, they owe that guy the title. He dropped it. That was obviously a personal issue outside that now seems to be somewhat resolved. But that guy losing his title so that Goldberg could have a fucking retirement match is farcical.
Agreed.
An absolute joke. It could have been non-title because he wasn't going over anyway.
The other thing is as well is that if and when Gunther returns, you do have a baked-in feud there where Gunther comes back and says, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Who the hell would you champ again?
I do think, I don't know if it's Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso. I don't know who it'll be, if it's a mixture of all of them, but I do think it'll end in DQ. But I'm not booking my main event as a draw, so I'm going to give you a prediction. My prediction is Jey Uso walks out as your new World Heavyweight Champion.
You know the reason why the Jey Uso intrigues me is it's actually to do with this podcast. This podcast is all about the storytelling of wrestling, right? It's how we've enjoyed wrestling for the last 10, 12 years is what does this mean? Where's it going? Where'd it come from? That kind of stuff.
Joe.
That's exactly where my head went. I'm not going to say it.
Where did it come from and where did it go?
Of the two guys in this match, who has the story for the world title right now? And it's like Punk's story for this match wasn't with the title until Monday when they tried to make it with it. It was with Rollins. Punk's story is Rollins, and Rollins is no longer there. Jey Uso's story isn't for the title, but the title can play a part in that story. And I just don't. I know I was quite explicit when I said Jey to Roman to whoever, right? But it's because I can see that path where it makes sense. What I'm saying is, I really struggle to see Punk winning this on Saturday and then on Monday captivate me with the next feud. My worry is that the next feud leads into War Games and it actually takes 5 or 6 weeks for Punk's reign to heat up, but it kills momentum. Whereas I think Jey Uso's, even if he goes into War Games and doesn't have, and has the title, doesn't have a feud for a world title, because the way the feud's bubbling with Roman and Jimmy, and we know we're waiting to Christmas for Roman, it doesn't halt momentum. If in the same way, I just like Punk would. I feel like if Punk won it, he'd have to defend it on Monday night and beat somebody.
Jay's first feud is Jimmy. It's there. Huh? The storytelling is there.
Jimmy's there, Gunther's there, Roman's there. So's Braun and Bronson. Whereas with Punk, it feels like he has to start from scratch on Monday, and that's risky this time of year when we're only really one event away from the Rumble, because we're not really including December, because we don't. That could be a one-match show.
Should be.
It should be a one-match show, but it could be a one-match show. I'll hold off my prediction now and let you go, Ross, because I think you've went last in most matches. What's your thoughts on that aspect of the story? And then, what's your prediction?
It is a valid argument, to be fair, because I think even if Jey picks up the belt, which I could see happening, it feels like that's the kind of the way that they're nudging it, the lay of the land. I'm actually still not sure what Punk does next. If he doesn't
the issue.
have the belt. So it's kind of like he's in that weird spot where I think he was always going to be involved in this sort of this scramble for a title. I can't really work it out if it's not an Uso. To be honest, it's a reasonable time to do it, because when he had it the last time and they gave him his trial run, it was a success. And I think he's then showed, based on the snippets we get from WWE and Rio, when you can see a little bits behind it, and then you kind of see that reflected in the product, that he's then continued that on. The stories have actually been decent. I think he's put in good work. As Daz put it quite eloquently, the kids all love him, and that is massive for a product that's aimed at that age group. I think I'm going to go with Jey to get there, as much as I'm a massive stan of CM Punk. I think the guy's class. I think he will have his moment, and I think that injuries to other people have hampered where that moment's going to go, and obviously we don't know the state of Seth Rollins. We have absolutely no idea when he's due back. We don't know how legitimate, in terms of the timescales, the injury is. We know the injury's legitimate this time, because we all saw it. He did actually hurt himself this time. Yeah, it just feels like they've been accidentally put into a bit of a crappy situation, and the only sensible way out is to give it to the guy that has a nice couple of feuds lined up and doesn't then necessarily be the guy that you want on a main event of Mania yet. So yeah, go with an Uso.
The bit that we missed as well as we discussed as he was dropping the title is, what does Jey Uso do after being world champion? Does he go back to the tag division and just fade back into obscurity? A bit like Kofi Kingston, not knocking Kofi, but back to where he was. Big E was the same, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. He hasn't. He's put in sufficient
work. He's had some serious amount of longevity that I didn't think was possible.
No, and I think that should be commended. I cannot believe this is 3-0 Jey Uso.
Congratulations, CM Punk, on your new World Heavyweight Championship.
I think there's two aspects there for me. One is, as I've discussed at length, is the storytelling. The Jey Uso story is there for now, and I can see the story post Saturday night. For Punk, regardless of win or loss at the weekend, I don't see where his story is on Monday. But if he loses, it's not that important. If he wins, it is important. And that's my worry. So from that perspective, I would take Jey Uso. The other side of it is, I think Punk having a 2-minute title reign 2 months ago cheapened it, and I think if he does it again, it's another cheap mistake. Punk deserves to win a Night 2 Mania match. That's how I see it, and I have to stick with that idea in my head that that's what's going to happen next year. So, I mean, we're 3-0 for Jade Cargill. We are 3-0 for the main event. Punk and Jey Uso were 2-1 for the other two, but we're all basically in agreement, aren't we? Really, because we all want Drew to win. We're all hopeful for Drew to win, but we all probably anticipate Cody winning. Even though Ross, you've picked Drew, but it's not like a 70-30 or 80-20. We're probably all 60-40, and even the same in the triple threat match. We all probably agree that Dom should carry on with the title, but it's a triple threat for a reason as well. So there's a lot of intrigue about this, but it's a stacked card for a start of the next main event because they've been shit all year.
It's really good, man.
I bet you it's awful.
Good.
I bet you any money you like, it's awful.
It's going to be awful, isn't it? But
it's going to be.
I'm
Cargill's going to win an awful wrestling match. Dom's going to retain, which isn't awful, but Dom's going to retain. Cody is going to retain, and it's going to end as a no contest in the World Championship match. It's just going to be. Remember that time they sold us WrestlePalooza and said it was going to be amazing, and it was fucking awful. Like
this is definitely one of those events where Saturday night's important, but Monday, Friday after it is almost more important because all these feuds, Punk versus Jey won't continue on as a feud. Cody versus Drew, if Drew wins, okay, it happen again, but if Cody wins, that's that feud bye. Tiffany versus Jade's bye because they've wrestled enough times, even if Jade wins it, but we think Tiffany's injured, and then the triple threat match. If Dom does win, then Penta and Rusev are no longer credible challengers, and if Dom does drop the title, it's because they have other plans for him. So this is really setting up what happens next month. And my biggest worry is that, again, I think the World Heavyweight title match will actually probably end without a champion, but I'm not willing to predict it because I don't feel strong enough about it. But also, if it ends without a champion, would they have a match at War Games? Would they do it on Raw? Or are we going to have like a vacant title for 6-7 weeks plus?
If it ends in no contest, Brock will win it Monday night.
That's it's just. I
think they'll pivot and having Braun Breaker take it off Brock Lesnar instead of taking it off Seth Rollins, which was probably the long-term plan to begin with, pre-injury. So I think they'll just pivot and have him take it off an absolute fucking monster. Yeah. Paul Heyman getting the band back together, do we think?
Sorry? Could you say Paul Heyman getting the... Get what, sorry?
Do we think Paul Heyman's getting the band back together? If the new shoe promo has anything to go by?
I don't think so.
Vegas Mania. It's weird that he's in it.
I know.
But the other two guys aren't. Really bizarre. Why is Heyman in it? It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I don't get the impression that Brock's that type of mercenary unless you're putting money in front of him. And is Paul Heyman going to turn up and say, here's $5 million?
A big shiny gold belt.
I think that's a mistake, honestly.
Oh, I totally agree. I do not disagree with you in the slightest, but I just think that if he wins the belt, LA Knight can kiss his fucking title shots goodbye. Not a chance LA Knight wins that title. I don't know. They're putting Brock in the WrestleMania promos, so Brock is clearly going to be a front runner in whatever is going on.
Brock will be in a main event match at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
If
he's been built into that, so I actually think Punk's in it because he will be a challenger at WrestleMania for a world title, and I think that Cody and Roman are likely to be in a title match together, as I said earlier. So is Brock going to be the champ? I really don't know where this is headed, man. Brock is going to come out and fucking F5 them both Saturday night.
To be fair, Brock versus Braun Breaker doesn't get a title if you're trying to push.
100% it's a title if you're trying to put Breaker over.
Think so?
Yeah. If you want to put Breaker over, it should be for the world title. However, Breaker isn't the one I would pick. I would pick Big Bronson Reed.
So would I.
Prefer Bronson Reed. I know longevity-wise, Breaker will be much, much bigger. But right now, Big Bronson is far better, in my opinion, to watch. Apart from that Spear's fucking insane.
Ross, any closing remarks for your side of it?
I think my kind of closing remarks would be that I actually think this could be a really, really good event. I'm going in with a fair amount of positivity. I like the card. 5th match. I don't think the 5th match, if it's maybe up to the standard of the other four, is going to take away from them. But I'm fascinated to see what that 5th match is. I maybe won't watch it live. I think I'm going to get up nice and early on the Sunday morning and try and watch it, just avoid my phone, just sit down. There's chat that this is on Netflix in the UK, but I don't think I've seen it pop up on Netflix yet. It's usually on YouTube, but there was chat.
It's still saying YouTube. It's still saying YouTube.
Yeah, I did see the chat. It's going to be Netflix. I'm actually, just before we wrap up, I'm really surprised that we don't have Steph Vicaire and Nikki Bella versus Judgment Day on this card. I don't know what we're saving that for. Are we saving that for War Games? Is it going to be Team Vicaire and Team Vicaire and Bella versus Team Judgment Day? Because it's ended with both the singles matches.
I thought that's a fucking dark match, to be honest.
Both. I mean, they're clearly hinting that Raquel's going to be the challenger for Raquel's title, but I'm just surprised that what the fuck's Nikki Bella doing wrestling on TV if she's not going to be wrestling Saturday Night Main Event? I don't get it. Why should wrestling on TV and taking a clean pin? What the hell is that all about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very fair point.
I mean, I don't hate it because it's about time, but yeah, it's just really bizarre to have her on TV and build up a tag team angle and then not have the tag team match.
There is a hell of a lot of intrigue for me about War Games because it's an outdoor baseball stadium, which means they either have to build a rig to raise and lower the cage, or all matches will be inside the cage.
They will build a rig.
It'll be some fucking rig. Because it's one of these proper outdoor baseballs. You know, the old style ones that are like kind of piecemeals, are no like nice round balls.
They are talking about having 3 War Games matches as a rumour, that there's going to be 2 men's and 1 women's. So maybe do you know what? Just have 4. Just like 4 War Games matches.
Why don't you have
concurrently?
Have all the cage, have the rings, have maybe like 6 individuals in the cages.
Put a roof on the cage.
Put a roof on the cage. Yeah, I mean,
I don't hate it.
I don't know. I'm just interested to see how they manage that, because they are determined that it is War Games. I don't think they should have War Games this year. I think they should just have had Survivor Series and take a break for War Games for a year, but that's personal opinion. We'll wrap up there. As I said earlier, we're back this Saturday with our Saturday Squash. It's already been recorded. It is our favourite matches of all time. It is a trip down memory lane, looking at nostalgia. Some of us looking at why we are wrestling fans, what made us wrestling fans. Others is just like, this match is undeniable, is something that we really enjoyed in later life. Enjoy Saturday night's main event. We're back here with you next week doing the breakdown output, and hopefully we've got a clear picture of whatever the plan is on Raw moving forward. Take it easy. We'll see you next week.